Hey, what's up? Good morning. Say hello to Lucy over here. See that? She hears her name, her tail wags. It's like, Lucy. See? See? Hey, I don't lie. This is live TV, folks. Anyhow, she just completed a search to the house. My wife, I'm not sure if she really likes Lucy or not. She seems to yell at a lot. Uh, well, Lucy does things she doesn't like, so that's part of the deal, I guess. But Lucy always looks for her, and she just completed a tour of the house. And I thought she was just going out to look for a place to lay down. And she came back in the room and laid down because she couldn't find my wife. See, if my wife was here, she would have gone out and jumped on the couch, and my wife would have yelled at her. But that just would have made her happy because she thinks she's part of the family. Because I get yelled at all the time. All right, moving along. We got a serious natural disaster going on in Venezuela. As of now, there are 500 plus people dead. They still hear voices in the concrete and everything like that, and that's hard to trace because you don't know where they're coming from. Sometimes they bounce around like that. That's you know. Uh, they're still trying to find people. They're expecting the toll to go much higher. I would expect so too, but I hope not. You don't know what it's. You're not. Most of you people out there aren't claustrophobic, so you don't sit around and worry about tight places and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? If you did, you wouldn't get on an elevator, all right? I'm claustrophobic to a degree. Buildings don't bother me as much as people bother me. I can't stand to be in crowds. I just want to start punching people because I think part of the problem is that you see I'm cleaning my computer now. Part of the problem is when I'm in a crowd is that the crowds usually get stupid. There's a lot of stupid people in crowds. You ever notice that? They're basically impolite, very, very self-assured and stupid. Uh, they think everybody's going the same place they are. They think they should have been there already. They think that people have a tendency to sit there and ignore them, and they can't stand that. So people in crowds are dangerous, and I don't like crowds. Now, if you don't like crowds, because my thing is people. All right, I don't mind being in an elevator by myself too much or anything like that. I don't get panic stricken. I don't feel the walls closing in. When there's a lot of people around, I feel a lot of things closing in. Body odor, bad breath, ugliness, stupidity. But when I'm by myself, I'm okay. But I don't think I'd be okay if I was underground, because I don't like being underground. I watch cave explorers and say, how the fuck do they do that? Crawling through a space that's no wider than their body. What are they looking for? A view? Shit. Send somebody else and tell them to take a picture and post it on Facebook. Really, I'm not doing that kind of crap. I don't like it. It's to me, it's a very dangerous situation. One that I'm not interested in. I'm definitely not interested in dealing with. You know, but that's so. If you get trapped in a building and this is more than a situation of claustrophobia. This is a situation where You know, you're probably gonna die. They're never gonna find your ass. You know, that's the big story. They're never gonna find your ass, and that to me is not something I want to, think about. I'm fairly certain I'm going to die alone anyhow because my family's never around me. The only one that's around me is Lucy, and I hope that nothing happens to her if something happens to me uh, before they can come and get her. You know, protect her. Uh, a lot of people would like to get their hands on Lucy. I don't know, if they what they would do if they saw me dead and just they would just take Lucy or they would try to find out where she belongs. I think most of the people I know are fairly cool, you know. Um, so I don't know. What's going on out there? Well, I got a new person to talk about today. Besides, well, the tragedy is one thing. I don't know what to do about the tragedy. They're not posting numbers where you can send money or stuff. Uh, and Venezuela's got problems like Haiti. You got to keep the stuff away from the assholes that are trying to steal it. You know what I mean? So I still haven't seen any of my friends, and I talked to a couple of guys that know some of the same people I do, and they managed to see them because they live closer to their homes, and they said they just don't know. They can't get in contact with anybody, and they're just staying by the phones trying to get in contact. You know, it's hard. When you work for yourself, it's hard, but that's the way it is. You know, that's the tough part of life. I hope everybody's okay that I know. You know, I got a lot of people doing their bucket trips now. Going on vacations and stuff like that. Taking off, going to places they wanted to see. I said, "How you getting along? Can you walk? You're healthy, I said, "I'm 80 years old." I said, "I know I'm not going to visit any place because I'm not going to hobble around while everybody else runs around and does everything, and I can't do a damn thing." I've seen just about everything I want to see because I never wanted to see the Eiffel Tower, or I didn't even want to see New York City, but I've seen it a lot because I live next door to it. But I don't go to the cities to see the cities. I might go to the city if I'm in the area. I might go into the city, for a meal because there are some fine restaurants, steakhouses, and stuff that I'd like to go to. I don't drink anymore, so a bar tour wouldn't do me any good. But I love to see nature, and it's like people say, "Well, why are you going to ever go back to the Grand Canyon?" I said, "I wouldn't do that now." So they got that big glass floor thing there, and I'm not into that. I had enough trouble walking to the edge of the canyon when there wasn't any safeguards there at all. You could walk right up to the edge and look down. I've been to that parts of that canyon, you know, so not what I want to see. It was funny because I told the story that there was this group of Navajo. I believe they were Navajos by the way they were dressed. Not 100% sure. They could have been Comanches too, so I'm not so sure now. That is, I was back then. But my brother told me they were Navajos because there's a big Navajo thing around the Grand Canyon. Anyhow, they were selling souvenirs. So I walked over and my brother says, "You want something?" I said, "Let me see that tomahawk." And it's like a plastic rubber tomahawk made in China. And I'm like, what the fuck, you know? You people can't sell original stuff? He said, yeah, but you can't. Most Americans won't pay for that. It's too expensive. Well, what are you gonna do? So I have no souvenirs from the Grand Canyon. I might have bought an ashtray or something. I have some from Niagara Falls. I don't know where it went. I had a plaque from Niagara Falls. I don't know what I did with it. Put it someplace. I don't remember where, because it ain't here. You know, that was cool. It was, one shot deal. Niagara Falls was cool because that was nature. And there's only a couple ways you can. You got to pay to visit it, but that's all right. I didn't have to pay. I paid because I wanted to go on the boat ride. I wanted to go by the falls. It's you can't hear yourself think next to them. That's just the power of nature. That's really, I think that's an absolute amazing thing. All right, back to the modern day. Hegseth is an asshole. Hegseth is an asshole. Yeah, well, everybody thinks that. He's destroyed the United States Army. I think Trump's in a position right now where we can surrender and won't have to give up too much because most of it's been destroyed by the asshole. I don't think you'll have to surrender. I think there won't be anything left of it pretty soon. The way um, Hegseth is handling the situation. Just fired the general in charge of Europe. You know, that's always a really smart thing to do. You know, but that's Donald and his minions. Let's destroy the army, and they've done. I have to. I don't know anybody that's still in the army. I don't think. I don't have any relatives left in the military. I believe they're all out, retired, stuff like that. Cousins, aunts, uncles. I don't have anybody in. So I and look, I got nothing against the military. It's a necessary evil. That's what the problem is with the military. It's a necessary evil. But they do things that people don't know about. Like now. If they were if this happened someplace near a military base, the military would be all over trying to help people. They don't sit around and do nothing. Uh, they're not just killers. And most soldiers don't get to kill people anymore. It's all done by rockets and drones and stuff like that. All you do is point a radio at them, and then the next thing you know, the whole area blows up. That's cool, right? But anyhow, between Hegseth and Trump, I think we just we don't have a military left. No matter what the war, no matter what the technology has been used, wars are won by men against men. Technology assists. It doesn't do the victory dance for you. So when you take good men out of the field, men that are willing to command, men that are willing to go into battle and die for a country that really doesn't give a shit about them when they're done. Ask any veteran, especially Trump. He's never been in the service and he fucks with the veterans. What the fuck is wrong with him? Am I wandering? Probably. Because there's not a lot to talk about. The United States has lost the game to Turkey, tied or lost the game to Turkey last night. I'm not sure which. But they're still, it's a big story. Oh, they're all down now. Well, I don't think they're disappointed and everything. Who gives a shit? You're going on to the next round. Those are the games that really count, the knockout round. You know, uh, they got one of those Scandinavian countries with two names, something something Kurtzable. So I think they play Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll find out. It's they still got teams trying to get into that last 32 spot. I think the selection is where the first round is won. Who you get to play. They have certain teams they want to go through. They wanted the United States through. They're the host country. Of course they want them to go through. You know, this is about as far as they want them to go. All right, so listen up, folks. It's Friday, and I'm tired. I'm bored. My wife. I haven't had anybody yell at me for a week now. My wife hasn't been around. It's getting kind of quiet. I guarantee you, 5 minutes within 5 minutes of her being in this house, she'll yell about something, and that's just gonna make me snap. May be in jail this time next week. You never know. All right, everybody, take it easy. Find something to talk about, and we'll bring it up. We'll see what's going on. Pray for the people pray for those people in Venezuela. They're really suffering over there, and I don't think Trump really gives a flying fuck. Uh, he had in one of his speeches today. So, oh yeah, we took over the country one day. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, by the way, we're sending some help down there too. It's all about him and his accomplishments. It's nothing about the rest of the world. It's all about him. That's why it's hard to talk about him. I'm not going to do that. I'm getting out of here. It's just live TV, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.